guys, LunaSpawn27 here, bringing you Naruto Gaiden Chapter 700 plus 8, The Real Thing. So the chapter begins with Naruto realizing that Sarada has awakened her Sharingan, but she doesn't care and tells Naruto that she's going to continue on her journey alone, and she doesn't plan on ever returning to Konoha. Well, you know what they say, like father, like daughter, but yeah, this was something I was really worried about, but I understand why Sarada would say that. She thought Sakura was lying to her this entire time, and her dad was gone throughout the majority of her life, and when they first met, he didn't even recognize his own daughter's face. She just learned that Karin was her real biological mother, and that made her really upset, and I don't blame her for that, but I really didn't want it to repeat with Sasuke leaving Konoha, and I'm pretty sure Naruto doesn't want that either. But in all seriousness, I'm really glad that Naruto stopped Sarada and talked to her to convince her to not leave. Even though she told him that this had nothing to do with him, Naruto tells Sarada that the Hokage is someone who treats the entire village as his family. Also, when Sarada said that her and Sakura aren't even blood related, she felt like she never had a real family, and that Naruto didn't understand what's going on inside her heart. But in actuality, he does. Which then leads to 3 pages of flashbacks, the first 2 on chapter 1, and the third page being with Naruto and Sasuke when they first fought at the Valley of the End. Granted, the flashbacks only showed parts that we've seen before back in part 1, but they established that Naruto did have bonds with both Iruka and Sasuke, even though they weren't related. He always thought of Iruka as a father figure and Sasuke as a brother. He tells her that bonds aren't merely made up of just time and blood, but also something that's even stronger than both of those, and that is love. Which made Sarada think back to the times that she spent with Sakura as a child. This flashback showed little Sarada asking Sakura when Sasuke was coming home, and every time she asked that, Sakura would tell her that he was off on an important mission and when it's over he'll come back. The flashback also showed Sakura taking care of Sarada when she was sick, but the second time Sarada asked this question, she asked if Sasuke didn't care about her and Sakura tells her that they're both very precious to Sasuke. After giving her a hug, Sarada asked her if she and Sasuke ever kissed. Well, personally, I'd like to know when the hell she and Sasuke started dating, but yeah, kissing is probably a good start. To which Sakura thinks about it and then starts blushing, remembering something that was even nicer. To which Sarada replies, "Ew, mom, you're nasty." Okay, I'll admit that was kind of funny, but it kind of surprised me that Sarada, back in a very young age, would know about sex, which is obviously what it was implying. So how would she know about this? I'm assuming, well, internet, because, well, technology has advanced in the world of Naruto, so I'm assuming internet exists in the shinobi world or something. That, or she probably read a book. Anyway, what was the thing that was even better than a kiss? Well, Sakura taps Sarada on the forehead and says, "We'll have to save that conversation for next time, okay?" This might have actually been the thing that was better than a kiss that she was talking about. The forehead tap that she received from Sasuke back in chapter 699. Although, at first I was thinking, why the hell would getting a tap on the forehead be better than a kiss? But then I remembered that was the same thing that Itachi would always do to Sasuke, so Sasuke did the same thing for Sakura. So I'm guessing it was like an Uchiha's own way of showing that they care. So the flashback ends, and after remembering all those moments together with Sakura, she realized that it doesn't really matter if they weren't blood related. Sakura raised Sarada throughout her entire life, took care of her while Sasuke was gone throughout the majority of her life, and for that reason alone, Sakura will always be Sarada's mother. And as I said before, I commend Sakura for taking care of Sarada. Even if they aren't biologically related, she still took care of her while Sasuke was gone. So yeah, I give Sakura kudos for that. And you know what the sad thing is? Even though it has been shown that Sasuke does care for Sarada, Naruto is being a way better father than him. I mean, he's the one that's reassuring Sarada, giving her comfort, and yet Sasuke is not telling her anything. I know he wants to keep the mission a top secret, but you know, sooner or later he's gonna have to say something. I don't know when, but it better be soon, at least before the Naruto Gaiden ends. Which, by the way, I heard Naruto Gaiden is going to be like 10 chapters total, but in actuality it's going to be 1 volume long. So hopefully we'll get some answers in this, because it's going to be really irritating that I would have to wait several months to see the movie, because even though the movie's coming out in the summer, we're going to have to wait for months until the movie comes out over here subtitled. Anyway, thanks to Naruto Naruto talking to Sarada, she changed her mind and she really wants to save Sakura. Although she has doubts that things won't be the same like they used to be, but Naruto tells her that cold hard truths, facts, none of that matters as long as deep down inside you want to help her. That's what makes it the real thing. You know what? Naruto has gained more respect, especially now that he's the seventh Hokage. I mean, this chapter shows how much he's grown and matured, and him talking to Sarada just shows once again that talking to him, being with him, is able to give someone comfort and make sure that they don't go into the wrong path. So yeah, when it comes to the Takano Jutsu, he still got it. Anyway, they arrive outside the hideout, meeting up with the rest of the group. The plan is for Sasuke to figure out the location and that he'll be able to take them all there. Now, back when Sasuke was fighting against Shin, we were all wondering why didn't Sasuke use his Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan? Why didn't he activate Susanoo? And also, why does his Rinnegan eye look different? Well, it turns out back then his eye powers were weakened, and at that moment, they were finally returning to its fullest extent. So I'm guessing that was the reason why Shin gave Sasuke a hard time. So if it was because his eye powers were weakened, then I guess I'll let that slide. But Naruto doesn't have an excuse. So why was Sasuke's eye powers weakened? Well, it turns out that he was using them to investigate Kaguya's time-space dimension to find out more about the person who was a bigger threat than Kaguya. And going into that place requires a considerable amount of chakra. Okay, that does make sense, but what I don't understand is since when can Sasuke enter into Kaguya's time-space dimension? I've never recalled Sasuke having that ability before. I mean, the closest thing we've seen the Sharingan do that was with Obito's Mangekyo Sharingan, but not Sasuke's. So since when can Sasuke enter into dimensions? Anyway, Sasuke activates the head of his perfect Susanoo, and him and Naruto were getting into an argument over something about scaring the crap out of the children and who has issues, but who cares. But yeah, they're getting ready to find Sakura, and speaking of her, we cut back to Shin's location, and it seems that the operation has been completed, and Shin says that the genes that have been asleep in a careless days of peace will be brought to extinction, and the genes of those foolish enough to stand in his way will be eradicated. When asked which category does Sakura fall in, the chapter ends with her getting ready to fight Shin, saying, "Because my husband was investigating exactly who you are and what it was you were after, that's the only reason you still have the ability to talk." Got it? So yeah, that is Naruto Gaiden chapter 700 plus 8. What did I think? Well, I actually thought this was a decent chapter. No action this week, but there was plenty of emotion going on, and I did like Naruto talking to Sarada. It's kind of sad that he's being a better father figure than Sasuke is right now, but it makes me like Naruto and respect him even more. Now, if only just this once we get to see him spending time with his family, because I have not seen Naruto interacting with Hinawari or Hinata. I mean, mostly with Boruto, yeah, but what about the rest of his family? And speaking of family, I like the lesson being learned here is that even if a parent and a child aren't biologically related, if the parent has raised that child and has been in that child's life and loved that child, then that parent is still that child's parent. However, even though we did get the test results saying that Karin is Sarada's biological mother, I still want to know, how did this happen? Like, when did Karin hooked up with Sasuke? And I'm hoping that Sasuke will at least talk to Sarada just this once, answer her questions or something. And I'm hoping we'll get this soon before Naruto Gaiden ends. The flashbacks at the beginning, I didn't mind, even if they were the same things that we've seen before back in part 1. But I did like the new flashbacks of seeing moments between Sakura and Sarada. And speaking of Sakura, the chapter was setting up for her fighting against Shin. So, who is going to win in this fight? I want to root for Sakura because I'm pretty sure she can take on not only the Shin clones, but she was capable of nearly killing Shin. But then again, we don't know what else Shin can do with his Sharingan eyes and his Mangekyo Sharingan, unless all he could do is just control a bunch of shurikens with his Mangekyo Sharingan. If that is the case, then yeah, I'm gonna root for Sakura at this point. And as for Shin himself, honestly, I'm starting to care less and less about the guy, especially when there's supposed to be a threat that's bigger than Kaguya, and frankly, I want to focus more on that instead of Shin. I guess since we already know what Shin's goal is and what his backstory is, aside from the part where he was obsessed with Itachi, that's probably something we still need to know more about. I just stopped caring about this guy trying to revive the Akatsuki because at the end of the day, this guy's gonna get defeated once Naruto Gaiden ends. And since he was able to get up, that would mean that Sakura did perform the transplant. So why would she do that? Well, she was gathering some information about him, and she was threatened by all the Shin clones who were pointing their giant shuriken blades at her, so I guess she didn't have much of a choice. But then again, she could have pretended to perform the transplant, but intentionally screwed it up, making it look like an accident, and then beat up all the Shin clones. Then again, they might need Shin alive to get more information on him. Well, that's probably just me, so either way, Naruto's group is on their way soon. I don't know when they'll show up, but probably soon. And Shin and Sakura are gonna fight. So yeah, tell me guys, what did you think of this week's chapter of Naruto? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What did you think of Naruto's conversation with Sarada? What did you think of the flashbacks? And who do you think is gonna win, Sakura or Shin? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like the video if you like it and subscribe to more videos, and be sure to check out my Facebook fan page and Google+. So yeah, that is Naruto Gaiden chapter 700 plus 8. I'm Lunar Spawn 27, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!